Hi, it's Rabbi Lewis wishing you an early Shabbat shalom. And I want to start by sharing a couple stories from one of my favorite topics, and that's the Marx Brothers. And as most of you know, I am a Marxist of the Groucho variety. Anyhow, the story is that there were 5 brothers, and the oldest was Leonard, and he later became known as Chico. And when it was time for his bar mitzvah, their mother Minnie wanted to ease his burden, and so she paid someone to write a speech for him to give at his bar mitzvah. And being very wise with economics and finances, Minnie then had each of the other 4 brothers give that same speech when they turned 13 at their b'nai mitzvah. And that highlights a point where they didn't have a lot of resources, so they were trying to capitalize on what they did have. And in Groucho, one-man show with an impersonator sort of doing a biographical storytelling of his life, he talks about how they actually couldn't belong to a synagogue when he was growing up. And he said, it always hurt my parents that we couldn't afford to be Jewish. And I think it's funny, but it's also sad because there is a perception out there that there is a cost of being Jewish. And the truth is it's free. You can be born into it. You can choose it. But once you have that status of being Jewish, you are. You wake up in the morning and you don't have to pay anything to anyone to be a Jewish person. So I get a question a lot, and this is a question that can get under my skin just a little bit when someone says, well, what does it cost to belong to the temple? As if we're like, a gym membership or a country club. And like I said, it doesn't cost you anything to be Jewish. Now I say this with, it gives me great pause to say this, because my livelihood and the house and my car, which I'm about to walk past in a moment, do depend on a financially stable synagogue. But there's no price tag on this. And our synagogue, Mitzvah, a number of years ago made a decision to say, well, it's a voluntary contribution. You can be a member. And what is the meaningful contribution to our congregation for your family? How can you support us and be a member? And it's a really important value, I think. And it's a bit of a risk in some ways because we have people that determine what that possibility is in many different ways. And we've been very fortunate and blessed that it has worked out. People who give of their treasure, their material goods, or their material wealth, people who give of their time, volunteerism to take some of the burden off of our staff, but also people who give of their talents, who help construct things or repair things, or even advise us in business matters or legal matters and so on. And so there's lots of ways that we had contributions. And so what does it cost to be a member of the community? It's what in your heart and what in your capacity can you do to support it. And this is part of the Torah portion, teaches us about this when they're getting materials and wanting to build the tabernacle. It says that they're going to collect from people Yidvenu Libo, whose hearts are so moved. And one of the ways that we understand this is that it's people giving according to their ability. It's not just that they decide that they want to give, as if somebody made a really great capital campaign pitch and invited everyone to be a part of it. No, it's everybody was already ready and willing to give and says, well, this is sort of a free will gift. There's no set shekel tax or whatever. What capacity do you have? If you're fortunate to have a lot of wealth, can you give some of that? Gold, silver, the dolphin skins that seem to be very popular in building tabernacles. Can you help construct it? Or can you help perhaps manage the finances of these things? What is it that is within your capacity where your heart and your mind are moved to support it? And I think that's what really makes a community function. It takes it all. Anyhow, just a few thoughts on PARASHAT TERUMAH and having hearts that are moved, and wishing you a Shabbat shalom.